Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, dear brothers and sisters. Hi Rex, how are you? Um, Actually, I saw your three videos about your advice to the Mujahideen and how to deal with the current war that we are facing with the United States of America. Now, in order for us to understand in a full manner what is going on, uh, I think we need to understand three things. First and foremost, we need to understand our aqidah. The second one, we need to understand history. The third one, we need to understand politics. Now, when we talk about aqidah, actually, I was like you. I thought like this war is unwinnable. But looking into aqidah and looking into the verses of the Quran and the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we will realize that this war is winnable. There are a lot of verses talking about this issue and a lot of events that happened to other prophets when they faced the tyrants, and eventually they were able to win over them. And now this is the first point. The second point is history. Now, for example, if we looked at the history of Afghanistan, now first and foremost, Afghanistan is known as the graveyard of empires. This is like if you ask anybody what is the graveyard of empires, they will tell you Afghanistan is the graveyard of empires. Now, Alexander the Great tried to conquer them. He failed. The French tried. They failed. British Army tried twice. They failed. And the USSR tried to conquer them, and they couldn't do it. And the third point is we need to understand politics. Now, if we looked at the political objectives or the strategic objectives of the United States of America in 2001 was different from the objectives that they want to achieve right now. Now, if they were successful against the Mujahideen and they were able to beat them, they will not change their strategies. I think that's it. Anyways, I have collected some video clips so we could look deeper into this subject. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Was actually very keen to drag the American to the Middle East, where he can fight them in his own turf. It seems when he went there to blow up the World Trade Center and the Pentagon, it seems you played to his hands. It seems he trapped you.
First of all, much of his network has been destroyed.
You were trapped in Iraq. Now Osama bin Laden enjoying himself. He doesn't need to go and blow up the World Trade Center or the Pentagon. He got, a very fat 140,000 Marines and American soldiers, and he opened a franchise in Iraq now.
America's hopes, the basic mission here, may still be achievable. But wars are won by firepower, willpower, and staying power. The United States and its allies have the firepower, but do we have the willpower and the staying power for the long haul?
That, of course, is Dan Rather, reporting from Kabul, Afghanistan, as part of his new documentary for HDNet about the state of the war there. Afghanistan is one of the poorest countries on the planet. It's a place where the infant mortality rate is third highest in the world, where fewer than 1 in 3 adults can read. But despite its challenges on modern things like health and literacy and clean water and electricity, Afghanistan does excel at something, and it has for more than 1,000 years. Afghanistan, of course, is known as the graveyard of empires. Alexander the Great and the mighty armies of ancient Greece couldn't hold on to it, nor could the British in the 19th century, though not for a lack of trying. And after nearly 10 years, the Soviet Union fled in 1989. Here in America, we really paid a lot of attention to that because the Soviets' defeat in Afghanistan helped get rid of the other world superpower that was our rival. Remember, back when there were two? And now, after 7 years of us fighting there, the United States military is getting ready to double down, sending in 30,000 more troops to go with the 34,000 who are already there. But as Dan Rather found when he interviewed General David McKiernan, the man in charge of our military effort there, defining victory in Afghanistan isn't easy.
How will we know when we have, quote, won?
Tough question to answer. I think we've got to look at global terrorism and Al-Qaeda, which certainly has franchises outside of this region, and we've got to continue to work in an intelligence-driven way to see what their reach is, what their impact is, not only within the region but globally. And over time, I think when we determine that they are marginalized, contained, perhaps even defeated, then we'll know we've won.
Marginalized, contained. In fact, in Mr. Rather's documentary, it is almost jaw-dropping to hear the honesty from some of the soldiers who are under General McKiernan's command when they talk about their mission.
The war is definitely winnable. But it's not really a war. I mean, you're not really fighting against people. You're fighting against, Taliban is a way of life. So it's kind of hard to fight that.
Kind of hard to fight that anywhere, let alone in the graveyard of empires. Joining us now is Dan Rather. He is the host and managing editor of Dan Rather Reports. His program, The Commander, has just premiered on HDNet. Mr. Rather, thank you so much for being here tonight. It's great to see you.
Glad to be with you. Thank you.
When you asked General McKiernan, when will we know we have won the war in Afghanistan, in the rest of your interview, he answers you immediately. He never stutters. He never ums. He never ahs. And you got this great pause out of him. He waited a moment before he was able to respond. How did you read that?
I read that as he's not certain himself what, quote, win would be.
العالم اليوم يعيش في ظل نظام دولي. نظام دولي مركزه وقلبه هي الولايات المتحدة والمجموعة الأوروبية. سنتر للنظام الدولي. أما باقي العالم فهي دول الأطراف تجمع آسيا وأفريقيا، أمريكا اللاتينية وغيرها من دول العالم. دول المركز تتحكم بدول الأطراف بأربع وسائل. الوسيلة الأولى احتكار التقانة العسكرية، الوسيلة الثانية احتكار الخامات النفط والقمح، الوسيلة الثالثة الشرعية الدولية الأمم المتحدة، الوسيلة الرابعة العولمة الثقافية والإعلامية. هذه الأضلاع الأربعة من خلالها تتحكم دول المركز بدول الأطراف. دول المركز تخوض كل حروبها عندنا هنا في دول الأطراف، ولذلك كل التخريب الذي يحصل من جراء هذه الحروب يحصل عندنا. ستلاحظ أن في فيتنام في حرب، في الصومال في حرب، في فلسطين في حرب، في العراق في حرب، في السودان حرب قادمة إلى آخره.
أين هنا دكتور؟ بس نريد تحديد لي هنا.
دول الأطراف.
أين تحديدا؟ قلت هنا، هل تقصد منطقة الخليج أم الأوسع؟
لا أنا أتكلم عن دول الأطراف بما فيها طبعا دول الخليج والجزيرة. النظرية الجديدة التي جاء بها تنظيم القاعدة هو أنه لا فكاك من مواجهة دول المركز اللي هي الولايات المتحدة وأوروبا الغربية، والطريقة الوحيدة لمواجهة هؤلاء هذه نظرية القاعدة، أنه ينبغي أن ننقل الحرب من دول الأطراف إلى دول المركز. عندها يكون التخريب ونتائج هذا التخريب كلها في دول المركز. يعني القصة مو عنف سايب يعني كما يصورون إعلام الكثير من الدول. لا أبدا، في نظرية أنه لا بد من نقل المعركة من دول الأطراف إلى دول المركز، وتتحمل دول المركز نتائج هذه المواجهات، بدلا من أن نتحمل نحن حروبهم على أراضينا. عندها فقط يلتفت أو تلتفت دول المركز لدول الأطراف وتبدأ تقيس الأمور بشكل أهدأ وبشكل موضوعي يدفعها للتفاوض والتفاهم مع دول الأطراف. أما أن تترك الأمة الإسلامية شأنها لدول المركز من أمريكان وأنجلو ساكسون في أوروبا، سيظل العالم الإسلامي دائما وأبدا تحت سيطرة